Reddit, what secret are you taking to the grave? NSFW. After sleeping with my then girlfriend, she got up to use the shower. How I kept a stiff upper lip while talking to someone with poo on their butt crack I have no idea, but by God I had a face of stone. I instantly realized she'd be horribly embarrassed if she found out, and I couldn't let that happen. I left the bathroom and thought to myself, okay, she was on bottom for a while, and buck naked of course me. I immediately head to the bedroom, throw back the covers, and sure enough, there's a big fucking skid mark on her pretty white bedsheet. Well, fuck hotshot, what do you do now? Strip the bed, explain later. Fine. I pull the fitted sheet off the bed and find another fitted pad thing under it, with another funking skid mark. At this point, starting to feel impressed by my prowess, and mortified at the possibility of the funking mattress having shit on it too. I anxiously peel off the fitted pad, and thank the gods of fornication, it remained unbefouled. Relieved I wouldn't have to throw her mattress on the front lawn and set it on fire, I quickly throw the sheets in the washer and start it up. Shortly after, she gets out of the shower and asks about the stripped bed and washing machine running. Lately she'd been spotting a little bit, and she figured that must have been what it was. It didn't bother me at all, and I knew she couldn't help it, but it made her feel really embarrassed. That's why I knew if a little bit of blood on my junk embarrassed her, then a big fucking rooster tail on her bedsheets would fucking destroy her. So she got sad and embarrassed and talked about how she grossed me out and I wouldn't want to sleep with her anymore, but all in all we were fine. To this day I never told a soul. That was the first and hopefully last time I've ever literally fucked the shit out to someone. TLD, our girlfriend shit the bed during sex and I contemplated setting it on fire because we were in love, and that's what you do. When I was 16, I was in a relationship with a man older than my father. I'm getting married soon, and he still mopes around and says how much he loves me and will never find someone like me. It's annoying, but also makes me feel guilty as hell. I'm not sure if I'm going to take this to the grave or not. Several months ago, I 22 had I'm lonely and you're lonely sex with my ex-girlfriend 19. The next day we woke up and decided mutually that it was a mistake, we should move on, etc. Well, that small mistake turned into a larger one. She got pregnant. We wrestled with a lot of things for the next few weeks. Did she want to consider abortion? No. Did she want to consider adoption? Possibly. How do we tell our parents? My parents would be upset, then immediately turn into the supportive parents they are. Hers would absolutely cut her off, never talk to her again, completely disown her. They told her they would, hundreds of times when she was growing up. So, we struggled. 1 week turned into 2, which turned into 3. She was now 8 weeks pregnant. I get a call one night last week around 1 a.m. She says that she is heading to the hospital, that something isn't right. I meet her there. She describes incessant bleeding and very, very bad cramps. After 5 hours in the hospital, the doctor confirms what we'd already begun to fear: she had had a complete miscarriage. Just like that, then, she was no longer pregnant. Even in the middle of this terrible incident, she said she wanted no one to know about it. No one. About the pregnancy, about the miscarriage, about anything. I'm still conflicted. Miscarriages are very emotional events, and I can't go to my parents to talk it over with or hug it out with my best friend or anything. It's been a weird, rough few days. TL doctor got my ex pregnant. She had a miscarriage before we were able to tell anyone. No one knows. She wants to keep it that way. Edit woke up to this. I'm sorry if I don't reply to everyone. I am going to read every comment to this though. Thank you everyone for taking the time to reply. Thank you for the gold, anonymous stranger. To everyone saying simply that I dodged a bullet, you're not entirely wrong. To be honest, I thought that I would leave the hospital feeling great, relieved. But I didn't. Miscarriages are weird. Even though it wasn't planned, the grief is very real. Eva finds out, she'll be talking shit like nobody's business. I lost my virginity to our Italian foreign exchange student living with us for the past 6 months. She's since gone home. No regrets though. My mum laughs about this all the time, but I don't tell anyone because it makes her sound insane. I was about 4 or 5 at the time, and I lived in an area where everyone was a bit rich and snobby. My mum went to visit her friend who had 2 kids. One was a girl, and she had this beautiful pink girl bedroom with double bed with a canopy, loads of toys, and she was adored by the mum. The boy's room had this cage-like cot, which he was just sitting in. My mum loves children, so didn't like this. One day she asks me, poor related throwaway, do you need to go to the toilet? If you do it in this bag now. I thought that was a bit weird, so I didn't. Eventually we're driving along, and there's this Tupperware container with a plastic bag with something brown in it. We get to this car park and park up. My mum takes the bag out, walks over to another car, and just smears her own human shit all over the windscreen, just covering the whole thing. It was awful. Anyway, she threw the bag away and we drive off. She told me another story about when she was a late teen young adult and a boyfriend had done something really bad to her. So she did a poo in a box, wrapped it up nicely, and left it in his room as a present. I stole my little cousin's Charizard to complete my starter Pokemon set. I was 10 and he was 8. Till this day he doesn't know. After my girlfriend died, I went to our apartment before her super religious parents could get there and retrieved all the bongs and pipes and stuff so they wouldn't know she was smoking. She was also pregnant. When I was younger, I worked landscaping. We were doing flowers at a client's house and I needed to take a shit something fierce, like immediately. I'm looking at this flower pot and I'm thinking, fuck it, let's do this. I go around the side of the house, look around, and it seems the coast is clear. I take a giant steamer for 5 minutes squatting like a Neanderthal over this fucking flower pot and question my life. When I'm done, I'm wondering what the fuck to do. So I dig a hole in the yard and bury the flower pot, thinking I'm done with this fucked up moment in my life. I turn around and look up and see the client's husband and wife and their dog standing in the balcony, mouths wide open staring at me. I start sweating and shaking and mutter something like, "Nice day." I leave without telling my boss, never go back to the job. It still keeps me up at night. My girlfriend has homicidal thoughts and a history of mental health issues. She sat me down and told me on numerous occasions that she has these strong urges to unalive people. It scares the hell out of her, but I always tell her I won't let that happen. I plan on asking her to marry me soon. So from what I'm reading, it sounds like she most likely is OCD or has obsessive personality disorder. She doesn't have any history of violence and the urges are few and far between. They usually stem from sadness rather than anger. Her life would admittedly be better without certain people who are poison to her. I think it's her brain trying to assert control over situations where she has none. As you Foxlust said, because of her probable condition, she'd be the last person to actually act on those feelings. Also, I'd like to thank everyone for proving to me why I should take this secret to my grave. I was drunk and dropped my parents' and my little brother's toothbrushes into the toilet. They had them all in a cup, and I knocked the cup over. I frantically went to go boil them in hot water before anyone came home and put them back. No one knows. I thought I mentioned this, but my pee was still in the toilet from the pee I did like 2 minutes before I knocked the cup over. When I was a kid, I would have to go to a after-school care for a few hours. I had a friend there I would play with regularly. We'd normally play house in a cardboard box and took so far to pretending to be husband and wife. I suggested we get naked like moms and dads do. I almost took my pants off when the caretaker called out for snack time. To this day, that same girl and I are friends. My parents took me to get my hearing checked when I was 12 because I wasn't responding when they called my name. I pretended not to hear some of the beeps in the hearing aid test room. As a result, I wore a hearing aid for 2 years when I was 12 to 14 years old. I don't know why I did that. Thank you for listening. Please like and share the video with a friend. I am planning on making more videos like this. In the comments, tell me what stories to talk about next. Also, what is a secret that you are planning to take to the grave?